Hey y'all, I'm back with another video. So, today I am reviewing Manifest Season 2, Episode 7. Yes, I said Season 2, Episode 7. Yes, I know I didn't do it from the beginning of the season. Oh well. Point of the matter is that I'm here now. I love this damn show, okay? And for y'all for you guys out there who does not know, I'm sorry, I have a hard time trying to get my words together at times. For all the yins out there who don't know the premise of the show, Manifest is pretty much about a group of people. Well, not a group of people, but there were some people who left Jamaica going to New York, okay? And it's following this one in particular family, but whatever. When they get off the plane, they're in the flight, there's a little bit of turbulence, but then everything is fine. When these people get off of the plane, it has been 5.5 years later. Now, they didn't age, but everybody else has. Everything else has moved on. So everybody who was on the plane stayed the exact same. But when they land, it is now 5.5 years later. I think they left in 2013, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah, they left in 2013, and when they landed, it was 2018. Right, so that's already a mindfuck right there. So the premise of that kind of caught my attention, and I really know about the show because of a guy I used to work with named Jeremy. Shout out to you, Jeremy. And the way he explained it was like, it kind of sounds like Lost, except they're not on no island forever, and it's no smoke cloud people, even though Lost, that really is my show. But after a while, it kind of got a little bit ridiculous, okay? But this show, it's a little bit more like, it's a little bit, when I say realistic, I mean if something like this actually happened, this is really how the response of everything would be. So, I'm about to go into straight spoilers. If you have not seen up until this episode, then please go and binge watch the whole thing. They have it streaming right now. But from this point on, I'm going into full spoilers because I'm about to cover really, really fast the whole first season, and then I'm going to go into this episode. Okay, so, whenever they land, I'm not going to really even talk too much, actually. I'm going to just talk about the points that I've, kind of stuck out and that I want to touch on as far as the first season is concerned. So, we know everybody comes back, and everything is pretty much, completely fucked up. The mama is dead. Michelle and Ben's mama is dead. Michelle and Ben are brother and sister. Their mama's no longer here. And there was a little boy named Cal on there. He had a twin sister. The twin sister and the mom and the parents got on one plane. And then Ben, Cal, and Michelle, they got on another plane. So Cal's twin sister's name is Olive. Olive is now 15 years old. And he is still 10. He still looks 10. So it's weird. It's a weird ass dichotomy. So throughout the season, different things are happening, when Michelle come back, because Michelle's pretty much the main thing that we focusing on here. When she comes back, okay, her fiance is now married to her best fucking friend. Child, listen to me here. Okay, when Michelle was coming back, I understand, that she was thinking about it and she still wasn't sure. But at the end of the fucking day, that was still her fiance. Okay, point blank period. Whether she said yes or no, that was still her fiance because she still had the ring and everything. And if I came back, I don't give a fuck. If I came back after 5 years and my best friend is married to my dude, are you see? It's fuck both of y'all. No, I don't understand. No, I'm not trying to understand. Yes, I understand that people can come together, during a time of misery, but find another shoulder to fucking lean on, or find another penis to lean on, okay? Not mine. Absolutely not. So pretty much the whole season, I was just completely disgusted by Lourdes. And wasn't that name? Lourdes? I was just completely disgusted by her. Because at the end of the day, you sitting up here getting an attitude with both of them. I can understand maybe your husband somewhat, but you get an attitude with Michelle, like she said on the episode, in my time, I was literally engaged to him yesterday. And now he is married to my best friend. That is a mind fuck. And at the end of the day, I understand that 5 years in y'all time went by, but that's still completely fucked up. I wouldn't care how much time went by. That's fucked up. That is completely messed up. Like, period. It's completely messed up. And Jared was still feeling, her the whole time. Of course, as he would, because that was the woman he wanted to be with. And, okay, Michelle and Jared is fine. Oh, Jared is so fine. Michelle and Jared end up having a conversation in the point of the season. And she's just like, I need to know, like, are you putting, because he remember he put his line on the job for her and all this other stuff. And she was like, I just need to know, like, are you doing this? Like, why are you doing this pretty much? Like, I need to know that, you're not just with me because you couldn't be with her. That's exactly what it is. And it blew my mind that she was getting mad that wasn't the case. That is exactly the freaking case. If she would have still been alive, okay, he would have never even probably thought to talk to you. And you the same, probably. So just cut the shit. She was pissing me off all last season. Oh my gosh, she was pissing me off all season. And then we got the whole thing with Danny and Ben and Grace or whatever, and that whole little triangle. Grace gets on my nerves. I don't know why, but she just irks me. And like Olive, she was pissing me off, just not being honest with him and telling him what it was and what was going on with Danny. At the same time, forget all of that whole situation, because now they're together. I personally, I do not think that, I don't think that Grace's baby is really Ben's. Although she's getting the visions, something in my psyche. I'm gonna tell you why. That's why. Okay. I'm gonna tell you why I think this is the case. Because with, I can't think of the name. Okay, in the episode with the little boy, when they had seen the little boy with the curly hair or whatever, right? And then they went to go meet with one of the passengers, and he said that he didn't have any kids and he didn't have anything like that. But he said before he left Jamaica that he had a one-time fling with this woman or whatever. But then, and he ended up getting on a plane and leaving. Now, we come to find out, we find this woman. And this woman, okay, they find the little boy. The boy is pretty much the exact same age that it would have been. So this is why I don't believe that it's Ben's child, because see, they're thinking about Grace having all of these visions is, oh well, this is your child, and because you was on the plane, it kind of transferred that way. But if that's the case, wouldn't that be the same for hers? Wouldn't that be the same for hers though? Well, I don't know. Or am I getting that wrong? I'm gonna cut all of that out. Call it out. I don't think that that's Ben's baby. I don't know why, but I just feel it in my spirit that that's not his baby. I don't know. I just feel like that. Olive is so annoying. She's like just a typical teenager, and she gets on my nerves in every sense of the word. I love Cam. He's adorable. Yep, that's all I got. So let's get into it. So again, if you're watching this, then you should pretty much be caught up with everything that's going on. So we won't hop right into the episode. So before the episode, in episode 6, sorry, they pretty much got a calling. Everybody got a calling that they were like after the plane like would have quote unquote crashed. So it was like, I think Ben, the doctor, and maybe like Michelle and Kyle. I think it was them four who had originally seen it. And so pretty much they're trying to figure out like what's going on, like what does that mean. So then we see TJ and we see Olive in the room talking, and TJ kind of has like a flashback of like him being with his mom before he left to go to Jamaica. And then, they're just kind of talking, and he pretty much tells all of that. He thinks he's with her dad in the sense of that Adrian, who's the one running this daggone little church and whatever. He's full of shit. And I've been said that. He's full of it. He's full of it. And he knows that he's full of it. But, she was saying, well, you guys don't believe in yourself being a miracle. Okay, this is my whole thing about the miracle and the whole church. I don't believe he is full of it, and it shouldn't be a church. If something like that was to really happen, I would believe that itself was a miracle. Don't know how, but that itself is a miracle. However, I would not then feel the need to now praise all of these individual people as if they're disciples or as if they're saints or something like that. No, I just think that I would think that it's amazing. It would definitely mess me up completely, and I really wouldn't know what to think. But like TJ ended up saying towards the end of the episode, like, I do believe in miracles, but just not the way that Adrian is putting it. That's right, TJ. That's right. So, Ben pretty much is talking to Grace, and he pretty much tell her, like, whatever it is that's coming, like that calling that we had, it's about to be violent. Like, I don't know, but it's gonna be really, really, really bad. So he's freaking out, trying to figure out what's going on. So then Courtney, who, as y'all know, is Zeke's wife or whatever, had told Michelle, that he kept, like, pills or whatever inside of his razor, which is weird. He kept extra ones in there, so when she went to the bathroom in the morning, she went in there and she picked it, and she tried, it wasn't there, and so she asked him about it, and then he kind of figured, why she asked, and he's just like, girl, either you gonna trust me or you're not gonna trust me, like, I really ain't got time for this or whatever that he left out. So this is why I don't like Olive, because we get to this next scene and everybody's out, everybody's kind of talking and stuff. So Kyle comes downstairs and Kyle's like, okay, well, I'm about to leave this, that, and third. I'm going, with such and such to this, I don't know, I think he's going to Coney Island or something. They're going for his birthday. And Grace and Ben is like, well, why you didn't ask us? Like, because I knew you guys were going to say no and all of this other stuff. And they're pretty much telling him, like, no, you're not going. There's too many crazy people out here. It's a lot of crazy shit going on. You take your little behind upstairs. Go upstairs. And so Olive is putting on her stuff, and they're like, where are you going? And then she's like, oh, I'm going out. And they're like, no, you're not. And she's like, yes, I am. Yes, I am going out. And they're like, oh, well, girl, you're not going anywhere. No, sorry. I'm sorry. She said, I'm not going anywhere, but just because y'all scared, I'm not scared. I would have smacked her right then and there, because who are you talking to? That's number one. But then they said, first of all, it ain't even got nothing to do about being scared. You're grounded because you've been ditching school, and you've been ditching school to go to this daggone church. When she came out her mouth, her lily white mouth, and said, I'm not going to school no more. I'm dropping out of school. I'm going to get my GED so that I can then go and run the church. She would have needed a miracle at that point. Like, it would have been every type of miracle possible for me to not put her head through a wall. That's why they snapped, as they rightfully should have. And Ben is completely over. Like, he's about to, like, literally burst into little pieces, because he's so frustrated, as he freaking should be. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're just listening to anything that Adrian gotta say, and yes, but Adrian said this, and Adrian said that, and all of this other stuff, blah, 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 blah. We don't care, little girl. We don't care. This is when y'all be letting y'all kids, like, have too much say, okay, and do whatever it is they want to do. This is what happens. So then we go over to Dr. Sydney. Her name been said all of this time, and I still don't know how to say it, but I'm just gonna call her Doctor. We go up to the doctor, and she's still trying to, find something for the mutation. She been practicing on her daggone self, because remember, they took all of the stuff. Ben goes to the church to go and find Adrian, and, he pretty much tells Adrian, like, you better stay away from my daughter, or it's going to be me and you. Like, I'm tired of this. Like, even take outside my daughter, you're putting everybody else at risk doing this, and you're being dumb. And Adrian's just like, no, well, that's not true, and I believe in miracles. I believe in miracles. And Ben put it like this. He was like, at the end of the day, you're trying to sit up here because Adrian was trying to make it seem like Ben was going insane when he was like, talked about the Collins. And he's like, oh, do you need help? Do you need to talk to somebody? Ben was like, cut it. Cut it, because you know that you've had callings too. So just stop. Your problem is that you're ignoring your callings. You're not supposed to do that. It's clear that you're not supposed to misuse your callings and that you're not supposed to ignore them. Point blank, period. And he's going to get his because he's been misusing all of this. And he's been going around telling everybody that they're not going to die when they have a death date and you are choosing to not pay attention. Whatever. But again, he's full of it. Whew. So then we see Jared fine behind. He come in and he's talking to, Michelle, whatever. And I've been saying Michelle this whole time, and it's freaking Michaela. What is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? It's Michaela. I'm sitting here like, Michelle doesn't sound right. Michelle doesn't sound right. It's Michaela. I'm so sorry, y'all. I know y'all gonna watch this whole first half and be like, why does she keep saying Michelle? Who the hell is Michelle? Michaela. I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so dumb. But, yeah, he's talking to Michaela or whatever, and, he's pretty much gonna betray her. Now, I think that they're setting it up to make it seem like he's gonna betray her, but I think he's actually gonna help her. I think he's literally getting as far deep into this as possible so that he can figure out who's actually behind it. That's what I think it's gonna end up being. I don't think he's gonna really play her like that. But anyway, we see somebody injecting some stuff, little serum and whatnot into these wine bottles. I'm like, okay, we gotta keep an eye on that. Olive talks about finding the article about the little card that they had. She leaves to go and meet up with the one guy who was working, which I can't even think of his name because I ain't paying attention. But the one guy who was working at the church, that's who she wanted to go meet with because he called saying that he wanted to tell her more about what he knew about the church. So when she leaves out, Jared goes in to try to break into her computer, but it didn't work. He then goes to like some computer guy in the force or whatever and tries to like and pretty much manipulates him to blackmail him actually to get access to the records that he didn't have. Which that ended up biting him in his ass because he said that he was doing it as a favor for her because she was getting a promotion. But anyway, so then we got the doctor's father. He meets up with her, and he tells her like, why don't you call Alex for help with the situation? And she was like, well, I haven't talked to Alex at all. And he's like, oh, well, I thought you said lives was at stake. Excuse me. Now, if y'all remember from one of the flashbacks, I don't know what episode this was, but in one of the flashbacks, when they were showing when she had got on the plane originally, we know that she was supposed to meet up with somebody, and in that thing, you seen her texting somebody, and the name at the top was Alex. And she's like, are you coming? Are you coming? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? And then the person texts back, I'm sorry, I can't. And they never came on the plane. So she ends up calling the person. Come to find out, Alex is a whole woman. Alex is and not only is Alex a woman, because that's not really the big deal part. The biggest deal is she's a married woman. Child, and she told her, she was like, it's been 5 years, and she was like, pretty much like, why didn't you come? And she said, well, I didn't want to like pretty much throw away like my family for a fling. And she's like, so that's all I was? That's all I was this whole time? I was just a fling? Like, I was in love with you. And she's like, I was in love with you too, but we can, and this, that, and the third. So you could tell she was really hurt. But she sat there and she talked to her about the whole thing with the mutation, and she got her help. So, like I said, so Michaela is going to meet up with the one believer that called her. And then, like in between there, Michaela went to go see Ben, and he was telling her about how all of us losing her mind. And she pretty much told him, like, instead of like fighting Adrian, why don't you just like, it's like, keep your enemies closer. And so he texted Adrian and said, do you want to like meet up? And he said, yeah, sure, let's go meet up for a drink. So Ben is now out on his way to go meet up with Adrian. And then you have Olive and TJ going to a club. Now Grace Cal, and Zeke all get the same calling at the same time, and it's kind of the same one that they had last week that everybody else was getting, of the plane and stuff like that, and ash everywhere and people everywhere. So they're like, it's about to go down. Cal is screaming like, it's happening, we have to go and save them. I don't really remember how Ben found out, but Ben ended up finding out when he's on his way to the club now. Also, somebody gets a tip in and they tell it to Jared, so he says that he's going to make his way out there. No, sorry. That's not what happened. He didn't get nobody's tip. Sorry. I'm reading the wrong part. Grace called Jared because they couldn't get in contact with anybody. That's what it was. So, when Ben goes into the club, he finds Adrian, and Adrian's like, what? Like, what you talking to me for? He was like, well, you told me to meet you here. He said, no, I didn't. Like, get the hell away from me. I didn't even know that I was coming until like an hour ago. So he's confused. Then Michaela comes into the same place, and she sees the guy. He's behind the bar, and she's like, well, where can we talk? He's like, oh, you got to give me a little bit of time. He leaves, goes to the back. So then Ben and Michaela pretty much run into each other. And mind you, this is the exact same club that Olive and TJ are at. They're just somewhere else in the club. And they're like looking around, and they're seeing all of these different people, because Ben bumped into, I can't think of his name, but the very first other guy that he met that was from 828, who didn't have any kids or anything like that, but found out he did have a kid. With the woman that he had a hookup with in Jamaica, seen him. And he was like, well, what are you doing here? He's like, oh, I'm supposed to meet somebody. And then they see another person. They see Bethany, my homegirl Bethany. And it's like everybody's saying that they're here either for no reason at all or because of the weirdest reasons in the whole wide world. They're putting two together like it's all of the passengers from 828 here. Then we go into the back, and it's like flashes back and forth of the person sending out the alcohol. Then you see somebody putting something on the floor, look like gas, and then the person sparked it up, and then all of this smoke start coming from this door. The crazy guy who was from behind the bar goes upstairs, because Olive and TJ, they had this nice little moment together, but then they go into this room and start dancing. He locks that door. Before he locks the door, though, TJ said that he was gonna go get a bottle. Door gets locked. Then all hell breaks loose. Fire and whatnot, and people screaming and yelling, trying to get out. Michaela ended up finding a way for people to get out of the actual building, but then they had to go back to go get Olive or whatever. So they had to go back to go get Olive. And then, so when they get back to go get Olive, TJ and Ben, she ends up falling like the typical white girl move. Falling in the midst of something serious and breaking her ankle. So now they gotta carry her. In the midst of that, Zeke, Grace, and Kyle pull up to the scene or whatever, and Zeke rushes in and he helps Michaela get like this thing off of Bethany. Now the crazy part about it is that when Michaela tried to do it, of course it's fire, so it burnt the fuck out of her, so she couldn't really do anything. But when Zeke came, he was able to pick it up and hold it up for a very long time with no issue. Keep that in mind. So then they end up getting Bethany out and stuff like that. Then I think they came back and when they were leaving out, Jared had found them, and Jared is the one who led Michaela and Bethany and Jared out. He let them all out. Then we switch back over to the whole thing with Olive, TJ, and Ben. Now they pretty much are looking for a way out. They've pretty much found the door, and then something kind of like falls, to obstruct, their path. The crazy guy pretty much comes out of nowhere and grabs Olive and puts a knife to her, like, I'm gonna get her. Pretty much like, I think his thinking was that because the passengers for Flight 828 were there, that if he died, like if they all died together, that he would possibly come back too. I think that was maybe the thinking behind it. But anyway, like Ben said, she wasn't even on Flight 828, so what you grabbing her for? It don't even make no sense. But anyway, TJ pretty much tackles him, and they fall to the ground, and he's like, get her out of here. So then Ben pretty much hurries up, runs, and tries to carry, and it's like an explosion, and then he's like looking around because he can't find where to go, but then there's like a light, like a white light that goes, and it's like he follows it, and when he follows it, it pans down, and it's the first guy that he bumped into, the guy from Flight 828, the first guy that he talked to. And I'm feeling like, okay, so even though he either dead, but even though he dead, his energy is still guiding you. It's still a positive energy. Is that what I'm getting from here? I don't know. It's confusing. So then they get out and they wanted to go back in to go and try to get TJ, but then the whole building just flames. R.I.P. R.I.P. I hope he comes back. I hope something happens and he's able to come back. But R.I.P. TJ. I can't believe you died for that selfish little girl. I understand. I know why, but I don't understand why you died for that little girl. So then, the doctor was doing another experiment on herself in the midst of all of this chaos, and she ended up passing out. When she passed out, all of the events that has happened since the plane landed started to reverse. It goes all into reverse, and then she pretty much wakes up. When she wakes up, she does a little swab, put it on the thing. The mutation is now gone. So pretty much she found the cure. She found a cure. But the thing is, she doesn't get the call-ins anymore either. So it's like, So when she's leaving out, that's when she sees everybody coming in and stuff like that. So she, instead of going home, which damn, that's crazy that doctors have to do that. But she was gonna go home, but she stopped and she came and she helped. When she was helping, I'm sorry, so many names, y'all. When she was helping Zeke, and she was looking at his hands, because so was Michaela, him and Michaela when he first came out, and it didn't seem burned at all. And she's like, your hands aren't burned. It's like frostbite pretty much. He said like frostbite like when I came out of the cave, and she's like, yeah, possibly. And he said, well, do you think I'm dying the same way that old homeboy died who was in the truck or whatever, and he ended up like living even though he was underwater for like all these damn days, and he ended up dying by like pretty much vomiting up a shitload of water. So he's like, is that what's happening? Am I dying? Am I gonna like freeze to death pretty much? And she's like, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. At least she was being real. I love her. She be being real. She's like, I don't know. Possibly. It's very possible that she could be dying that way. So yeah, they do that. Olive tells Ben about the book that they sent over, about the little card that they have. He goes to the office, picks up the book, opens up the book. Tell me why is there a picture of a man carrying out a child, a little girl, with some flames behind him, like he did. And then the book, like that's some bright ass white light. What's going on? What's going on? I don't know. This show definitely keep me guessing, because I never ever know what the heck is going on. I don't know if it's God. I don't know if it's the government. That part can't be the government. It's something otherworldly going on here. But y'all get in the comments. Tell me what you think. I'm not back.